My namaskaram to all the beautiful young women present today. The secret is I would give anything I had and everything I had to be in your place. Do you understand what I'm saying? This juncture in your life, when you're still young, setting out to do something, make some things of your life, when you are in an oyster of a family and a pearl in the making, is the best one in your life. Today, you may think you are constrained by being a woman, constrained by being a middle class person, constrained by the fact that when it gets dark, you should be home, that when it gets that certain professions are not for you, and that in certain professions you may step in, but it's extremely difficult to succeed. But that you are limiting yourself by your thinking. A large unwritten part of my biodata is that I'm a daughter of two refugees from Pakistan. When they came to Hyderabad, they didn't have money. They didn't have anything, and then I was born. I went to St. Anne's Secunderabad, Nasa School, Hyderabad first, and then to St. Anne's. In St. Anne's, in a class of 60, 66 sometimes, I realized that if I was not doing anything good, I was not going to be noticed. I had to be the first in the class. I had to answer the question first. I had to do more social work than the others. I had to leave last. I have to come first. Come first to school. Why don't you sit down, child? I'll be happy. Come. And then started the struggle. The struggle against daughters of MLAs, MPs, ministers. Struggle against daughters of rich people. And I found that was a beautiful struggle. That shaped me, shaped my personality, told me that gave me a taste of poverty. And at the same time, prepared me for a better life ahead. Children, you are restricted by your thoughts. If you change the way you think high, you aim high, it's just possible to get there. Very, very possible to get there. Another example from my life. My daughter was no more. She died at the age of 11 with cancer. And I had to spend half of all my fortune in trying to get her treatment done. I took her abroad to the US for her treatment. I didn't have enough money, so I sold my parents helped me by selling my property to pay for her treatment. At that point, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, father's mother, was very unhappy with me. She was about 85. She said, "You're stupid. You're spending all your earnings, your father's earnings, on a blind child, on your blind daughter. What if she lives? What will you do with the blind girl? Girls anyway are useless. And a blind girl is even more useless. How will you go to work? How will you live? What about money for your son?" And that, I never held it against her because her thinking, her generation, her time restricted her to say these things. But I knew that my daughter was as valuable as my son, perhaps even more valuable. Today, I think of her in the most endearing terms. Philosophy says that, life is like a bubble in water. Jaise jal mein budbuda is what the Granth Sahib says. It's like a bubble. It's there and it's not there. That's all. Human life is so frail, so fragile. But in this human life itself, I know that we women have the task of spreading love and spreading happiness. Do you ever know that you can make your home happy? Have you ever realized it? Yes, no? Do you know that if there is a celebration and if you take up the task of that celebration, celebration is not the kind of celebration I am thinking of in Tollywood or Bollywood. Simple celebration. If you have to bake a cake, you have to make gulab jamuns, you have to make a laddu, it's your parents' wedding anniversary, or that your parents are not, unhappy with each other and not talking to each other, you can broker peace. Can you? Yes or no? You can't make peace between them? No? You've tried? You tried. How many of you think you can make peace? Yeah, most of us can make peace. There are cases, these are human relations, where we don't succeed. But when we try to make things work, they do work out. They do work out. Women can spread a whole lot of happiness. Women bring color. Women bring color to life. Otherwise, for men, life is boring. It's only grey and blue. But it's women who bring the color to life. Bring flowers to a home. The other day, a cousin brother's birthday, and I bought flowers for him. And then, my husband said, "What, you want to give him flowers?" I said, "Yes, why not?" When supposing a man dies, isn't he decorated with flowers? Isn't his body decorated with flowers? So why not gift him flowers when he's alive? Women can tell the world, "I love you." And the world has to echo back, saying, "I love you too." There are a lot of things women can do which men can never ever do. For years, man has grown up in a food gathering society as a hunter. He still hunts. He still hunts. Now there are no animals to hunt. He hunts for women. This whole story about child rape, child sexual abuse is true. Who abuses little children? Men abuse. Men abuse girls, women, and they are not happy. They even abuse little children. So what does a woman do? Get afraid, buy herself a bodyguard, or wear a bomb blanket, sit at home, lock herself, put all the lights on and sleep. What does she do? How does she protect herself? Can you protect yourself? Do you know how to protect yourself? You don't protect yourself with guns. And then somebody misuses those guns and shoots 50 people dead and 40 people dead. You protect yourselves by your behavior. When somebody knows he cannot penetrate your coverage, he cannot touch you, he cannot go closer to you, he will seldom do it. He will seldom do it. There are women who have had acid thrown on them because they had the courage to say no. This fight you will have to take to your last days. Women are also the harbingers of property. You wear a gold necklace on you, you wear gold tops, and then there are these fellows who come on motorcycles and snatch your necklaces. They push you, you fall, you hit the pavement, you lose your gold, they cut slit your throats. They don't want you, they want the money you have. Women also have to protect the money they have, the wealth they have. There are so many women who earn so much money, and at the end of it all, when they divide, there's a division in the family, the man walks away with all the money. She has earned it, but he bought the flat on his name. He bought the car on his name. The bank account was on his name. So you are a big loser. You have to protect the wealth you have. Not because on the other side, a man is going to steal it from you, but that you will never let anybody steal it from you. Yes or no? You are not going to let anybody steal it. It's your hard-earned money. If somebody wants, if you want, you will share it with them. If they ask for it, you will give them part of it, as much as you want to give. There are women who don't control their own wealth. A study was done by IIM Bangalore 2 years back on the most richest households, women households in Karnataka, and they found that only 8% of women in the most richest homes in Karnataka, families in Karnataka, had control on their money. Sit down, Kucho, Naresh, Kucho. They didn't have any control. So even if there's a lot of wealth in my name and I'm a Birla girl, and if I have no control, if somebody is going to put the petrol in my car and give me my pocket money every day, I'm as good as anybody else. You must learn to earn your wealth, and you must learn to control your wealth. The day women learn to control their wealth, whatever be their wealth, land, property, money, bank balance, it is that day that things will start changing for women. It is that day things will start looking up for women. Because you go to your papa, even if you don't like him, if you don't like the fact he beats your mother, you go to him and say, Papa, 5th, you have to pay my college fees. You're dependent on him. Yes or no? You're totally dependent on him. I know so many girls who don't support their mother, who's in trouble, who's right, who needs to be supported, but support the father because it's the father who buys them the two-wheeler. It's the father who gives them money to go for a picnic. It's the father who buys them a cell phone. So you must be in control of your wealth. At the same time, if you look at suicides, how many women commit suicide? In our country, you will see those women who are unemployed, who are dependent on others, who are married, who are uneducated, are more likely to commit suicide than other women. Sorry. Why is it that everybody doesn't commit suicide? Because when you come to the end of the road, you take another road, you go another way. There is another possibility, there is another horizon, there is hope. But if you remain uneducated, if you don't have a good job, if you don't know where you're going, if you think all is let loose, you've lost everything, definitely you are likely to commit suicide. Think about it. Would you like to be in the place of that woman who pours kerosene on herself and sets light to herself? No. If you have to be bold, you have to be courageous. You have to become bold. You have to become courageous. You have to take on a job. You have to study hard. Children, there is no escape from education. There is no escape from study. Marriages don't make you rich. You make the marriage rich. You bring wealth to your family. You have to work hard. You have to achieve and get somewhere. You can't afford to sit back. Not in this time and age. Not even in my time and age. I am now 56 years old. Sometimes I think I have enough work to kill an elephant. Just doesn't come to an end. It is nowhere. I am saying that all of you have to go out to work. But if you don't go out to work, how do you become independent? How do you become strong? How do you earn wealth? How do you remain in command of your destiny, in command of your life? This is the time to write your destiny. This is the time to write your script of your life. And if you fail now, you will not succeed. It will be a difficult life. The life of a homemaker in yesteryears was terrible. When a woman became a widow, she never knew what she owned. Her brother-in-laws took away her lands, some cases. Her brother-in-laws decided she would have a pension every month and live by it. Or her brothers. She was not wanted. Is that the life you want to lead? So choices are limited. Once choices are limited, we definitely have to work hard to make our lives, to succeed in our lives, to excel. There are crores and crores of people, but you are important to the people you belong to. Your mother may not have swum in an ocean. She may not have ever got into a swimming pool. She may not have gone on an aircraft. But she will fly in you. She will swim with you. She will walk with you. She will jog with you. She will run with you. Children, you have a responsibility of taking care of all the women in your life. My mother is 81. She lives with me. And she's deaf. She's deaf for long years. She has the world's best hearing aid. But she's got only about, even with the hearing aid, about 25% hearing. So I put her through speech classes, through lip reading classes, speech therapy, because she cannot pronounce some words correctly. For example, if I tell her the word Kaikaluru, she will never be able to say it. If I tell her this girl's name is Geeta, she will say, oh, Meeta, because she just can't hear the fine tunes, the fine tones in her sound. But she's strong, she's happy, she's contented. Her daughter is a Director General of Police. My father was not a good man with many good principles, and he had another mistress, and he has children from them. I grew up in a house where my parents never got along. My mother was often beaten, harassed, battered. My fees was always paid late. In fact, I was the best outgoing student of my school, and my principal called me and said, Tejdeep, we're giving you this award, but we haven't got your fees for the last 3 months. How helpless I felt. So much of contradiction in my life. And I thought, I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to be dependent on somebody who doesn't love me. I don't want to be begging for money to buy vegetables or for a new sari on my birthday. I want to be in charge of my life. I want to take care of my younger sisters. God help me. I worked very hard. I'm only a BCom graduate who joined the police service. This is a deep secret I have never publicly shared. Today I have. Because it is from my striving, the complexities of my life, that I may be able to inspire you to come out of your problems. Children, we all have problems. We have a lot of problems. And they remain with us throughout our lives. How many of you have been to a sea beach? Raise your hands. Sea beach. Only so many of you. How many of you have gone to a river? Raise your hands. Okay. So you felt good, you felt calm, you felt meditative, you felt new, did you? Did you feel nice? You always remember your picnic with lot of happiness. It still brings happiness to you, though it may be way back in time. Those friends are still held dearly by you. So why not bring that calm, that peace, that love into your lives anywhere and everywhere? Is it possible? Do you feel like that when you walk under these trees, when you look at the lotus in front of the mandir? Do you feel good? Yes, you have to snatch your happiness. Happiness doesn't come to you as ampules or tablets or injections or IV fluids. Nobody's going to put an IV fluid into you and say, come on, feel happy, be good. No. Happiness will have to be searched by you. Your mind should scan for happiness. It could be a good word. It could be a bird call. It could be just a feeling of being young, of being happy, of having the world before you. You will have to snatch happiness from your everyday lives, and you will have to bundle it and keep it inside you. It will be a store of happiness for you. You will have to spread happiness. The light, Minamini, you know the Minamini, the Jugnu? Do you know the Jugnu, the Minamini, the firefly? You know this? Minamini is the word in Malayalam. My husband's a Malayali, I'm sorry. The firefly, the Jugnu in Hindi. Do you know what I'm talking about? It is always bright where the Minamini goes. I don't know in your villages if you ever have caught Minamini in your dupattas. Have you? No? You must when you go to your village. Now because of the use of pesticides, there are lesser Minaminis. But outside the village, near the guttas and all, there are lots of Minaminis. You can catch them in your dupatta and then they will glow from inside. Women are glowworms. Women are fluorescent. Women can challenge a rainbow. Women can capture a rainbow. Women are like flowers. Can anybody describe the beauty of a flower? No. Can you? Can you describe the color of a flower? Can you describe the feel of a flower? It's difficult. You may attempt to, but you may never wholly succeed. Women are like that. Women are like onions. You peel one portion, another portion emerges. The inner portion is more shining, bright and fresh. Women can make others cry. Strong women can make others cry. The story of these 3 fighter pilots, the story of Kalpana Chawla, these are not stories from fairyland, dreamland. This is your time. We are not talking of Goddess Saraswati, Goddess Lakshmi, no. But definitely we can learn from our goddesses. Goddess Durga Ma. You can learn from them, their attributes. You can shadow them. You can try and be a little bit like them. Our culture is resplendent with the stories of women. Women who went out to battle. Rani Rudrama Devi, Jhansi ki Rani. It is amazing how women can turn men into kings, into conquerors. You know the story of Jijabai? Whose son was Jijabai? Shivaji's mother. She was the one who indoctrinated him, who told him, stand up son, climb a horse, master it, pick up a sword, master it, go out, raise an army, defeat the enemy, protect your own. is what women can do. There are stories of wives, but because who have turned their husbands into great, great saints. I don't know many of them in history because all historians have mostly been men.